Hey, how's it going? Today we're gonna go over how to draw Godzilla versus Bowser. It's gonna be simple, easy, for beginners, and I'm gonna take you through this step by step. I'm Sketch Monster, I'm an artist and illustrator. I worked on Smurfs movie and Transformers 3, Dark of the Moon. So let's get started and stay to the very end of the video. Let's go. Okay, so let's jump right into it. I'm gonna go right here and start with Bowser's eyebrow. He's gonna be on the left side, and I'm gonna have Godzilla on the right. Curving back a little bit, it looks like fire. So a lot of Bowser's design elements seem very fire-esque to me. They seem like they're little flame. That's just kind of the thing I get. A lot of the wiggly lines, a little bit, you know, like S curves, things like that. Pulling down right here for the back of the eye. All right, then I'm gonna slowly move in here to the front of the eye. It's gonna be smaller. And we're gonna draw a line underneath that. Pulling the line here, just a little small one right here. And we're gonna draw the pupil and iris here as one. Kind of fill it in there. Pulling back just a bit. I'm trying not to think about the small shapes, but I mean, I can't help but do that, right? Thinking of the little crinkling as he's mad, that kind of stuff. Yeah, pulling up. Right here is going to be the front of his forehead. Now we're going to go over here down for starting his snout just a bit. And all right, curve up for the top of the snout there. All right, here, right on the top of the nose there. Boom. Looks like a circle, looks like a marshmallow. All right. By the way, don't forget, hit the like button if you like this kind of stuff. If you like me doing these type of, tutorials, please hit the subscribe, click the bell notification, hit that like. The like really helps. Curving down over here around the corner. So that's the far end of the mouth, right? His mouth is made up of usually like 3 different parts. It's like it looks like 3 McNuggets or something stuck together, in my opinion. Curve over here for the nostril. Excuse me. And finding the back side of his mouth, which again looks kind of like a ball shape as well. It's weird because Bowser is the bad guy and there's a lot of angles in his design, like I was saying, a lot of S curves, but there's also a lot of like round shapes because he is part of a property that is primarily aimed right at a different type of audience, as a Nintendo audience. So he's got a lot of round forms as well as being, the bad guy in the angular stuff, like the angular forms. Pulling across underneath his mouth right here, curving back. And finding another segment right here around the bottom of the mouth there. Curving out. Curve along here, the inside of the mouth. The outside of the mouth, forgive me. And we got a good mouth shape right here so far. Now let's throw the teeth in there, and I'm gonna try to vary the size of the teeth, but not too much, but just a bit. Curve, curve, curve. Right here underneath. Tooth underneath. Tooth underneath. And another tooth underneath here. Good stuff. Keep going. All right. Let's go up to the top of the head again. Kind of flatten that out just a bit, and we're gonna really start looking into, his hairdo, his haircut. I have this really awesome, what's it called? Okay, going around the corner here, and we're gonna find the horn, right? The horn on the side of his head. He's got kind of like, in my opinion, bison horns. Have you ever seen bison horns, like buffalo horns? That's kind of the horns I see Bowser with. My dog is barking. All right, curve over here. And pulling up with the brow. And curving around the corner here. Back up into the hairdo. Pulling back. That's what I mean by like fire. Kind of looks like fire at the top of his hair here. curve over here. And I don't mean like fire, like, wow, that's fire. You know, that's cool. I meant like, it is cool, but I meant like literal, looks like literal cartoon fire. Pulling back here. And by the way, it doesn't matter how many, like, what do you call this? Little spikes you have from his hair. Doesn't really matter. You can put a bunch or a little. Just as long as you have the general idea. That's kind of what I always say to people here is like, if you have the general idea on... Okay, let's take a quick break and talk about the Cute Drawing ebook, Cute Starter. This will teach you pretty much everything you need to know about how to make your characters adorable and chibi. So what is cute exactly, right? I would say 90% of it is in the proportions, and they're mostly the same. And I'm gonna go over them with you step by step. Larger head, larger eyes, smaller body, but in what facet? I have some charts here. These are visual guides. So this will guide you on your journey, and it's pretty much non-reading. There's hardly any reading in this. And the cool part is once you learn these proportions, you're gonna know them forever. And that's the best part about it. So this is 100% free. I offer it to you. Go down to the description, click the link, download it, and let me know what you think about the ebook. You know, on that kind of stuff, it really, as long as you have the general vision, it's good enough. Curving down around the neck, pulling up around here, around the collar, kind of top side of the collar. Pulling down here. Oh man, oh, my dog's going nuts. All right. All right, let's start kind of the hand. So he's kind of standing at a ready position as he's gonna, like, you know, beat up Godzilla. And what I want to do is I really want to make that, or Godzilla's gonna beat him up, one or the other. By the way, who do you think's gonna win? That's a big one. But I'm kind of starting the hand first because his hand is closest to us. Outside of his face, right? His face is just to establish the scale, right? Not like, you know, lizard scales, but I meant like the scale of the pose, the scale of his body. His hand, I always like to take care of second if it's close to us, because it, like I said, it's closer to us than the rest of his body. So curving out over here, and plus you're dealing with small digits, and that's pretty tough to do. Even with Bowser, Bowser has more or less like a claw. I would still rank that as like, hey, it's a little tough to handle. Curve around the corner here. Pull up. Line over here. All right, finding the forearm a little bit there. And pulling down. Oh, I'm sorry, not the forearm. Forgive me, I was like thinking. That is a thumb on the other side, his opposable thumb. Curving around his wrist. He's got that wristband. Right, he's got that really cool spiky wristband, which we all love. Curve around here. Now there's a spike, a couple of spikes, or whatever you call that, on the corner here, on the corner as well. And we want to draw that first before we draw the joining line behind it, which is what we're about to do. Curve underneath. All right. Right on. All right, curve along the top over here for his forearm. And let's see what we're doing here. Notice as the slower and more deliberate I'm drawing, the more careful I am too. So that's kind of something I want you guys to learn from. Be more careful with your strokes. It can really, really help a lot when you do that. Let's go over here down for the stomach area. Like I said, not to annoy, but if you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. It helps a lot, like a lot. Curve over here, along the neck. Curve along the neck over here, and down right there. Okay, cool. And we're finding the spikes along the collar of his neck. All right, let's keep moving in here. Curve along the side over here. Curve along the right there. You want his arm kind of going back into his body right there, connecting to his body, and we're finding the other row of spikes. He has like this brace on his arm. Right on. Cool. The spikes right here, spikes right here, and spikes right here. I mean, it's weird too, because he's like a deceptively, I would say, tough design in some ways, because he's got so many accessories on him. So, I mean, in some ways he can be pretty tough. All right, let's pull back here, find the back of his shell that he has right there. Cool. Right on, right on. Some lines right here. Show the curvature of that shell. And we're gonna get that shell on here somehow. Okay. Let's draw the rest of his hair just a bit and kind of make it go down, connect. And now we're gonna go up to the actual shell area. Ready? Let's do it. Whoa! Bam. I love it. Draw some spikes there. Those spikes are a little different though. These are like organic spikes as opposed to the spikes on his you know, his wristband and necklace or whatever. We're gonna go over here. We'll draw like the organicness coming out of that shell. Right down, curve around here, and there we go. All right, so far so good. Nice. All right, so let's go back here. Kind of split under his mouth, and I'm kind of more or less putting in a little bit of detail now. I'm kind of looking at him like, okay, what detail does this guy need? Okay, so let's start Godzilla, right? When you really look at their proportions, it's really fascinating the way you compare one dragon character to the other. Yeah, really fascinating stuff. I love how it goes. I love everything about this sort of thing. Like comparing one dragon-like character to Godzilla's not a dragon, he's a kaiju. He's probably a mixture of, oh man, a bunch of different dinosaurs, if I had to say, as far as just how they designed him. Because yeah, so we're going with the flat part of his head, and I'm going into his eyes, and I'm thinking about these eyes, and I'm like, okay, this is King of the Monsters. What is he gonna be doing? He's gonna be staring right at him. He's not gonna back down, right? He's gonna be like, wow, I'm in your face, Bowser. I don't understand how you got this big, but I'm gonna take you out, right? That's kind of stuff I think about. And we're going in, and we're making the eye part relatively dark and kind of beady-eyed, which a Godzilla can be beady-eyed in a lot of like he's squinting his eyes, like I'm mad at all times, right? That's kind of the way I see Godzilla. All right, right here, nostril, pulling back on the mouth. Alrighty, line over here, and we're going into his cheek. And his cheek has like that. You'll see that a lot. Like it's like you'll see that on lizards and dinosaurs and stuff like that. That cheek is cool. It's just cool. It's like it's almost like they're tracing out the zygomatic arch, or I think for lizards it's called the jugo bone. I don't know. I'm sure he's cold-blooded, but yeah, basically the cheekbone. Pulling down underneath, he's got his mouth open, and he is not backing down. All right, that's kind of the whole thing. Curve back right here to the back of the jaw. And down. By the way, I know I said this earlier, but I think Godzilla would win, in my opinion, with this fight if he had fought a giant Bowser. In my opinion, I don't know. Somebody said otherwise because I kind of had this on live once, but yeah, that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. Don't worry about it. All right, pulling down underneath, turn that teeth upward. Right here, just kind of finding those teeth. Teeth proportionally smaller, I would say. Or maybe not. I don't know. Bowser's head's pretty big compared to the teeth. With his tongue sticking out. And all right, let's go into the back side of his mouth, because that makes him look a little bit more 3D when you have somebody opening their mouth like that and they have that dark part of the mouth showing. That means they're at a slight angle of you. So that's important to kind of note that. All right, let's go down here to the chest area, and we're gonna angle, right there. All right, finding that arm downward. Okay, we're gonna find his arm, mostly finding his like chest area, right, his upper arm, and yeah, great stuff so far. I hope you guys enjoy this so far. Pulling downward, and line over here. All right, I'm gonna find the claw right there, one side right there. His other claw sticking down. Pulling back there. And another claw right there. Right on. And maybe one more. Oh, Godzilla, you're so clawy. All right, pulling back. Down underneath. And let's keep going over here. Curve for the front of the chest. Here. And down. Sweet. All right, so far, good stuff. All right, we're gonna go over here into Godzilla. Now, what does Godzilla look like Godzilla? Why? It's gonna be the spikes. We're gonna be pulling right here, upward, upward. All right, and these are like little mountains on his back, and I've said this before, they remind me of little mountains. All right, up. Right here, zigzag shapes are his back. It's like larger mountains. And I'm kind of just doing that carefully, and I'm kind of trying to like figure out like, okay, what is not too repetitive and what is something that can make it look a little bit more 3D, because sometimes it looks way too repetitive, honestly. Like sometimes these look way too repetitive. If you just have like a seesaw pattern. So you kind of want to like try to mix it up and make it look a little bit more natural, right? Because that's what we're after. He is an animal, right? And that's kind of what we're doing, is we're finding these animal attributes, right? These organic things. He's not a robot. He's not Mechagodzilla. But curve around the corner here, line downward, and now we're gonna go around the back of his head. He's got these I don't know how to describe it, this like osteoderms on the side of his head. Oh man, my stomach hurts. All right, let's keep going though. The show must go on. Line over here. Pulling the line around there. Back. The jaw there, same thing. More of these osteoderms, more of the shape. Looks like a vein or something, but I'm not really sure what you call that. I'm gonna look that term up, by the way, and I'm gonna find out for you guys what they call that on a lizard, where it changes form. Usually I see it more on a crocodile. All right, I believe they're osteoderms though. Alrighty, almost done, okay? Be patient, guys. Curve around here. Curve, curve, curve. Line down right there for the elbow, back of his arm. And he is ready to battle himself. Obviously, he is a very scary person there, or a scary individual, a very scary monster. All right, curving around the neck over here, and now we're adding most of his details, right? So where would his details go? But for the most part, we're pretty much done with Godzilla. If you stuck around this time, please give me a high five. I'm gonna give you a digital high five, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, boom, high five. Thank you so much for sticking around. You're amazing. These are really hard to do, so I appreciate it if you please hit the subscribe and click the bell notification. I must have said that a couple times already. Helps a lot. And yeah. All right, continuing on to, let's see this over here, kind of the other side. You have his other hand sticking out, across, pulling up, right, like so. And right here, curving for the hand. His other hand's gonna be sticking out, right? Because he's got this fighting pose that Bowser tends to have. Curve line in. By the way, if you haven't seen yesterday's video, check out yesterday's video. That is Godzilla versus King Kong, but they're actually arm wrestling. I'm really proud of that video. Please check it out. I posted it yesterday, so go take a look at that if you can. I'm really, really proud of that video. All right, curving over here. We'll get the digits of the hand. Line over here. And downward. Right on. Okie dokie, we're still going here. We're still going strong. Circle right there. We're drawing the obviously spikes on the other wristband as he's sticking his hand out in a very like kung fu style, I don't know, like stance, like an opposing stance, right? Like he's ready. Bowser's always ready. He's awesome. Line around here, around the corner. You know something I've always wanted to draw and I'm going to do a lesson on? It's going to be that monster version of Bowser from Super Smash Brothers. I'm going to do that. I really want to draw that. All right. We're filling in the inside of his mouth, and obviously that's to create a more graphical depiction, right? When you look at a picture and it's just more graphic, meaning like the human eye can identify it much quicker. That's kind of what you're after. And that's kind of good. Just fill that in, I would say. Like always do that with open mouths, you know, always fill that stuff in. And yeah. But yeah, so one thing I want to say too as well, if you guys have a suggestion on like a versus drawing, let me know and I will totally do it. Let's go over here and I'm going to throw in a couple little lines. Nothing fancy, just drawing these thin lines. Everything is like a more or less detail at this point, and I'm just kind of like doing this before I move on to Godzilla on the opposing side. Lines over here in the eye, right? The squinting, the crunkling up of the anger of his face, all of that stuff, right? Line over here around his cheeks, down around his nostril, a little bit there, and curve around underneath the mouth there. Line underneath right here, line underneath right here, line underneath. Kind of like on the stomach, basically. He's got that snake belly, right? He's got the, you know, the stomach with its different texture. So, if you like drawing lessons this chill, by the way, and this gradual, please, like I said, let me know. If you want them quicker, let me know as well. I am here to serve you guys, okay? Also, I go live every single day at 1 p.m. on Pacific time for now. If I change it, I'll let you guys know. But right now, it's at 1 every day there. All right, going over here with the leg. All right. For the most part, I think that's mostly it with Bowser, I believe. We're drawing like some of the scales right here on the skin as well, because you want to remember texture. That's something I talk a lot about. Remember texture. Texture is a really big deal. All right, curving a line here, finding that. And again, all these little textures and little stuff is just in service to make them look a little bit more realistic. It makes it look a little bit more detailed. It makes you look like you did more work, even though in reality we're just kind of drawing little lines here and there, which, you know, they are more work because they're selective. But you know what I'm saying.